Fantasy Footballers Sunday Live.
Oh, hey. Didn't notice you get in here. Yeah, Jeremy liked that joke.
That was good.
Welcome into Sunday Live, everybody. Ah! Playoffs. Let's go. This is what we live for. This is what fantasy football is all about, right? Where chumps turn into champs. Champs turn into chumps. Jeremy, how you feeling?
My doctor said that fantasy football is not a valid reason to increase my anxiety medication, but I'm not taking his advice.
If you were following along all week, the playoff matchup between Jason and Mr. Al Borland, they're not in Jason's favor, but Josh Downs back, Breece Hall back. Jason's got an actual outside chance now, but anyways, that's not what you're here for. We're here to tilt our faces off. We're here to get into the news, some start-sit questions. I'm just going to start here at the top, just some notes. You know, look, thefantasyfootballers.com, that's where the rankings are. I'm not going to be able to talk about every single player. It's just not possible. Go check that out. We have free rankings. We have a free start-sit tool that you can go in there. We'll give you some variables, why we like a player, or what parts of a player's outlook we like today. You can go check that out. If you want to be a supporter, jointhefoot.com, and that gets you access to our ultimate dashboard, an extra podcast every week. You help support the show. Just a lot of really cool stuff year-round. And look, rookie season is approaching, so if you want in early on the Dynasty Pass, be ready for when that thing launches in January. You can go check that out because you can get a subscription that includes everything that we do here. And it is championship time. FantasyChamps.com. That's where you're going to get your swag, because I know that we're going to go out there, we're going to win some championships, and you want that hardware, and you can use free ring. Is that working, Jeremy? I thought
Yes, sir.
So code free ring. If you buy a belt or a trophy for your league, like a helpful league member, you can put in code free ring and get one of the $60 rings for free. So just throwing that out there for you to check out. But let's get into the news.
The big picture.
All right, we'll start it off with me being a meteorologist, my dream job. There's a couple spots where we're expecting some weather. The way I see it right now, the only elevated concern would be for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cleveland matchup. Like that over/under is sitting at 41.5. It's the second lowest currently of the slate of the remaining games. Is that just the teams? Is that the weather impact? This is not a complete pivot away, but this is take this thing up to game time, just see what's going on. So don't say I didn't at least bring it up. I don't know if I'm pivoting away from guys in there because of the weather, but we just saw what can happen on that Thursday night when everything went into a sack of crap. But anyways, here are the news. Are the newses. There we go. I fixed it. Derek Carr's going to be out. Aiden O'Connell, heinous because they anus, right? Aiden O'Connell is questionable for Monday night. Good to see if you have Brock Bowers or Jacoby, that Aiden O'Connell is at least questionable and not listed as doubtful. At the running back position, Breece Hall is back. What is our confidence in Breece Hall? It's shaky, but right now he's sitting, just outside of my top 20. He isn't, he's number 20, but, guys like Sincere McCormick, Ramondre, Pacheco, those are guys that I'm going to play Breece Hall over. Johnny Taylor, that one's hard, especially if you get any kind of PPR or half PPR bonus, because Breece Hall should catch a few passes. I can't imagine they're putting him active in this game to not actually use him, considering that the Jets' season is completely lost. He wants to get out there, play for his coaches, play for his team, play for himself. So that's where he is for me. Tony Pollard is in. Now, Tony Pollard versus Breece Hall, that is incredibly difficult. They are sitting right next to each other in my rankings. because the matchup is there for Brees. He gets to play the Jags. But Tony Pollard gets to play the Bengals. And those are typically matchups that I just want pieces of because the Bengals score so many points, and their defense says, come on, score some points on me. Wait, we got to – oh, Andrew Holloway has walked in the building, everyone. He's here just in time for us to have our public meltdowns. So as he takes his seat. So that's how I'm feeling about Tony Pollard. Is his mic active, Jeremy? Are we able to do that? All right,
It is now.
Tony Pollard or Brees Hall, Andy?
Yo.
Yeah, there you are. You got to hold it while you talk.
I'm not answering questions at this
okay.
time.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Bucky Irving is expected to play. There's some really, really difficult running back situations going on. Bucky is expected to play. It's the afternoon game. He's done this before where he has not practiced the entire week and then goes out and plays. I like Rashad White. Am I playing Bucky? It comes down to my options, and it better be at least a strong option. It's so difficult. The Chargers, that's not the best matchup for Bucky Irving here and the Bucks overall. He is such a sketchy start. Be looking at things. But anyways, Kenneth Walker, Ken Bone, he's going to rest up one more week. Hopefully he'll be back next week, but that is still TBD. DeAndre Swift is questionable for the Monday night game. At the wide receiver position, Cedric Tillman remains out. This dude and his concussion, that sucks. That sucks a lot to miss that many games for that. George Pickens remains out with a hamstring. Josh Downs, like I said at the top of the show, he is expected to play this afternoon. Ladd McConkey, a.k.a. Ladidi McConkey, is a game-time decision. It seems like he's trending to play. That's what I'm hearing. And let's see, at the tight end position, it's wild, man. David Njoku is out. Tyler Conklin for the New York Jets. Not that you're necessarily starting him, but he popped up. I think it was a personal issue. He's not able to make it to the game. Cade Stover of the Texans is out in case you were playing Dalton Schultz and you wanted that type of punishment. At least there's one fewer guy. Dalton Kincaid is questionable. And, of course, Evan Engram was put onto the IR. Oh, gosh, Jeremy, is the computer – has our bandwidth run out? Is the computer alive? All right, let's go.
He's so hot right now.
All right, like I said, thefantasyfootballers.com, that's where the start-sit tool is. You can jump on there right now completely free, and we take inventory. We keep track of what's happening. Who are the real trending start-sit questions? Every single week there seems to be a couple guys who pop up in many of these questions. Like, these are the most popular ones. So,
by the way,
yeah.
I don't know if you knew this before you start this segment, Mike, but if you get all of the start-sit stuff right, that'll be one of the big keys to winning their playoff matchups.
That I've heard. I've heard if you make all the right starts, it does improve your odds by about 150%. Oh, one piece of news I didn't give. I don't know if Tua's going to pop up in the quarterback discussion, but the Dolphins, their starting tackles are both out. I think we got a rookie here at left tackle, and if you do not remember, they play the Houston Texans, which is Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. It's very difficult to know how much weight to – I tweeted this out, but how much do you put into that? With when it was Armstead – I thought, oh, well, maybe they'll still be okay. But now that they're both starting tackles are out, I have moved Tua down because I think the chance of Tua having a massive game has decreased, where he's not a bench at all costs because this is a team surrounded in speed. Jonnu Smith's screen game will be there. Devon Achane receptions will be there. It's just like, can they hit on a big Tyreek Hill deep pass? Not as likely. So I was getting a lot of off-air Kyler or Tua. I'm like, man, Tua's just been on such a heater that I might go there. But with this news, I moved that officially over to Kyler. Tua is now sitting just outside of my top 12. All right, who's hot, who's not?
It's funny you mentioned that.
Is it Tua?
So we usually start at a different position, but because there's a specific quarterback that's dominated the top three of our start-sits this week, we were going to start there. And the first one I had for you was Kyler or Tua. Kyler is the player we're going to be talking about, though. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Kyler or Justin Herbert?
Oh, So Ladidi, like I said, he is the game time decision. He really needs to be active if you are hoping for true upside here from Justin Herbert. I think he plays. Herbert's their afternoon is Herbert an afternoon game?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Versus Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they're both afternoon games, so you will know. I think Tampa Bay is they're both good matchups. Tampa Bay, I think, is the matchup I prefer slightly.
Kyler's facing
But,
New England.
Yeah, Kyler's playing the Patriots at home. I lean Kyler just by a slight margin. That is a very difficult decision, but I do think that Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are going to have a good offensive performance where the variable I like for Justin Herbert, I'm not scared of the running backs. Like Gus Edwards might get a touchdown. There's a chance that James Conner just explodes today and gets 3 touchdowns. Amari DiMercato, I don't know if he was ruled out, but he was at least trending to be out for the Arizona Cardinals, which, yeah, Trey Benson, we like him better. But DiMercato was still getting in there and getting some passing work, which I think that shifts over to James Conner now. So I'm going to go Kyler Murray over Herbert by the smallest of margins.
All right, we got one more Kyler Murray here. Are you starting Kyler or Bo Nix?
Oh,
versus the Colts.
Bo Nix, I love it that we're talking about a rookie quarterback in playoffs. This is good stuff. It's Kyler for me. The Broncos Colts matchup. It's just can Anthony Richardson get it done? And I haven't seen enough evidence of that. I took an under on them on that game this morning, so that's just how I'm personally projecting it. I'm going to go with Kyler.
All right, let's move over to the wide receiver position.
Kyler, please come through today. Oh, my gosh. All right, who's next?
Brian Thomas Jr. is dominating at the wide receiver position question, so we're going to start there. Brian Thomas or Calvin Ridley?
Oh, man. I have Brian Thomas ranked higher, and Brian, I brought him up on the Hungry for More this week of he's quietly getting it done. While we all have been living in fear of Mac Jones, I think accurately because he's Mac Jones. But Brian Thomas has just dominated the target share for Jacksonville. Evan Engram is out. They play on different parts of the field, but it's just maybe now that it's just even more incentive for Mac Jones to throw it to Brian Thomas Jr. Calvin Ridley gets the Bengals. I feel safer with Brian Thomas. Calvin Ridley is definitely in a spot where he could explode this particular week. So maybe you got Cooper Kupp on Thursday night, and you're looking at this like who can give me 150 and 1? I would lean Calvin Ridley on that one. But if I'm trying to get a floor start with a decent ceiling, I'm going to go with Brian Thomas. He seems less volatile right now compared to Calvin Ridley.
All right. What about Brian Thomas or Malik Neighbors?
Well, the Giants will probably have to throw the ball 40-plus times here against the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see if I can. I'm going to try and pull up the latest spread here for the Ravens. They're sitting at a 16.5 points. Dude, 16.5. The Giants are 16.5 point dogs with an implied team total of 13 points. I'm going to go with Brian Thomas. We got DeVito in there. That dude stinks. Yeah, nope. I'm not doing it. I'm going Brian Thomas.
All right. You shared your thoughts on Kyler. Are you starting Brian Thomas or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Okay, so Marv is what's hard is I really, really like Kyler today, but Marv might continue to have one of his struggles. He's been better at home, so you're hoping for one play, but it's like I am a little bit afraid of Gonzalez, which is if you on the show on Friday, I put Trey McBride and Michael Wilson into my DFS lineup to face the guys because I think that there's just the ancillary pieces might see a slight target share uptick. And obviously, Trey McBride is a beast, but I think that it's going to be the other guys, and you're hoping for one big Marvin play. So is Brian Thomas or Marv? I'd play Brian Thomas. I would.
All right, last question here for Brian Thomas. Are you starting him or DK Metcalf versus Green Bay?
Man, the DK season has been just abysmal. Looks like JSN is, I don't know if like it's an official the way they think about it, but the actions on the field are Smith and Jigba's the number 1 wide receiver now for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't want to mess around with it against Green Bay. I'm going to take on the Jets. Their defense is just phoning it in these days, and I think that it's they're not projected for a lot of points. Like I think it's actually the lowest total. It is the lowest total of the week is the Jets and the Jaguars. I think this one might be that sneaky. Everyone is just so terrible on the defensive side that we actually get a fun game here for fantasy football. I'm going to play Brian Thomas over DK Metcalf.
All right, I think that's a clean sweep for Brian Thomas.
It is.
We're going to move to the white.
What could go wrong, right? All eggs in one basket.
Just make all the right choices.
Perfect.
You'll be fine. We're going to move to the running back position, and we're going to talk about Sincere McCormick.
All right.
Are you starting him or Breece Hall?
I do have Breece Hall ranked ahead of Sincere McCormick. McCormick is safer for that 60 or so rushing yards with chance. There's a chance of scattering a touchdown or two here against the Atlanta Falcons. But if I had Breece Hall, I would be playing him over McCormick.
All right, Sincere McCormick or Tank Bigsby in that Jets game?
That one I'll go with McCormick. The uptick of Tank's rushing attempts the past week, it's not out of nowhere when you look at the course of the season, but it felt like it was out of nowhere. Watching the game last week, I'm a hater. I thought that was the best that ETN had looked probably all season. Like he actually looked like he could do something on the football field where it has not looked like that to me for the season. So for all those things combined, I will go McCormick over Tank Bigsby.
All right. What about Sincere McCormick or a banged-up Bucky Irving at the Chargers?
Dude, I think Bucky's the hardest running back decision of the week because he's such a stud. Oh, gosh. But it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying to me with what to expect and project from a place of volume, a chance of being re-injured. I mean, he got knocked out, right?
Early.
Yeah, that's like not unconscious, but like he couldn't play through it last week. He didn't practice all week just because he's like the chance of him getting knocked out early of the game. I think it's too high for me.
These questions are the roughest ones because no one wants to lose with Bucky Irving on their bench.
Right.
But at the same time, we just don't really know how good he feels. We don't know if this is he was really a long shot last week, ends up playing, gets knocked out, and then now he's feeling way better. We don't know. It's Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers are a good defense. It's a very scary situation, but Bucky's got higher potential than some of these like lower tier guys. So it's like if you're an underdog, that's the guy that I'm gonna go out with my stud.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. If I'm looking at a point disparity of, I mean, it's got to be decent. How high do you like? Is 10 enough? Because I think it would for me
Probably
it need to be like
10 to 15.
15.
Yeah.
For me, I need to see a 15-point projection that I believe in. Which, ladies and gentlemen, projections are not everything. Like
Don't tell Jeremy that.
But I'm saying, like, the sport. Fantasy football. The matchups. Sometimes there's guys that they're just, like, they keep giving them really good projections. And you're like, there's no way. There's no way that this guy is going to hit that. So trust your knowledge base, your instincts on because sometimes projections are rough. But
projections are messing with my head this week.
Yeah.
Because in our Dynasty League, I got Jacoby Myers, and they just projected him for a lot. Jacoby Myers on Monday night, where I've got Cortland Sutton in my lineup, projected lower than Jacoby Myers.
Really?
Yeah, and so you look at those situations, and you're like, I'm going with who I believe in.
Yeah.
I'm pushing back against the projections.
I'd play Sutton there.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm doing. But they still get in your head a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you like seeing that number. You like seeing the number on your side. You like seeing that little bar.
and yet it
I'm
means
60%.
nothing.
Yeah, so for Bucky, I mean, that's a long way of saying I need to see a big disparity on my side to just be like, to go decaf on that, because McCormick will be solid. He will get you points. And like I think McCormick finishes as a top 24 running back. I think it's a really good chance of that happening. Top 10? Being in the top 10 or outside the top 30, that's more likely in the Bucky range of outcomes. All right, who's next?
All right, this is the last sincere McCormick question, and all three of you guys have these guys back-to-back in your rankings.
Nice.
Sincere McCormick or Tyrone Tracy?
Oh, man.
Who's a bigger favorite, Al Borland or Baltimore?
At this point, I think it's still Baltimore. Tracy would have to just go nuclear in the passing game, which he did that last week. Let me pull up the
With a different
the real
quarterback.
numbers. Yeah, it was 10 targets. So when did DeVito play? Was that against Tampa Bay?
Look for like a 0 on the scoreboard. You might be able to find him.
That was when they scored 7 points. In that matchup, Tyrone had 4 receptions. So it's not that DeVito went away from him. To have to count on that, it's Tracy or who's it, McCormick?
Yes, sir.
I'd play McCormick. If it's PPR, then I'm okay going with Tracy, because McCormick is still not playing the passing role. That's going to be Abdullah. I'm not sure what Madison's status is, but he's more likely to get some receiving work than McCormick is. He's a grinder, but I like the environment here for the grinder to be a 2-down guy, but still get some goal line work here. So I'm going McCormick. I'm going McCormick.
All right, we're going to blitz the tight end position
right.
real quick. People seem to have that pretty figured out. There wasn't a lot here, but we're going to talk about T.J. Hawkinson for a sec. Are you starting him or Jonnu Smith?
Oh, like I said, for that Miami game with the tackles being out, it's just like, what are they going to do? And I know Jonnu, everything came in overtime, but it's been such a heavy utilization of him in the offense. He's just such a featured piece. I'm going to go with Jonnu. It's by, again, there's just small margins of confidence, but I'd play Jonnu over Hawkinson.
All right, and last question here. We got breaking news this morning that Taylor Swift will not be in attendance at the game today. Are you starting T.J. Hawkinson or Travis Kelce?
I legit sent Jason a message with that post. I was like, how does this affect Travis Kelce? Is it better or worse for him? I don't know.
You guys need Travis Kelce in your one of your leagues, right?
Yeah, well, it's Travis. It's Kelce or DJ Moore, something like that. That's the weather game, Kansas City, Cleveland, where the latest thing I had checked was like that we don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen with the radar of, will it be light showers in the second half, or is it going to downpour?
Or as Jason calls it, a rain pour.
Oh, right, yes, of course. The scientists have agreed on that. But it's Hawkinson.
Yep.
I'd still go Kelce. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I'd still go Kelce. Andy?
Between those two?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Hawkinson for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Hawkinson's my start of the week.
He is.
Yeah.
And I like Hawkinson, but yeah,
that's not easy. That's not an easy one. I mean, it's names over conviction, and
yep.
Right now Kelsey's in a position where if you had made the decision to start somebody else, you would have been happy about half the time. So I like Hawkinson's opportunity. It's Monday night, so we'll see what happens.
All right, let's get into the people.
Stardom, set 'em.
All right. Lori says Bo or Tua. That is going to be Bo Nix. So Tua for me, I have him now, he's outside of my top 12. So he's in that range with Stroud and Mahomes. Those are the kinds of guys that I am looking at. Do I start them over Tua? Because again, it's playoffs. You need big performances, and I think not that he can't. Tyreek Hill can take a screen 80 yards for a touchdown. It's possible, but probability, I think it is moved down like this. Alex says Jalen Waddle or old man Adam Thielen. I would play Adam Thielen over Jalen Waddle now. I think that would have been a harder question yesterday, but as of this morning, I'm going to go with the old man strength. Let's see. Next question will be I'm trying to find. Let's see. Carillion Collector. This is a tough one. Rachaad White or Rico Dowdle, especially with the Bucky news, having no idea how much Bucky will be used in this game. I'm going to go with Rico Dowdle. I think he's a very strong play this week, just outside of the top 12 with a chance. I mean, let's get Rico in the end zone, people. Like, reward this man for putting the team on his back. Next question. We got Alberto says Breece Hall or Tracy in a full-point PPR. I will go with Breece Hall in that situation. I expect them both to catch passes. Tracy could, like, if he catches 10 passes in a PPR and has no yards, it won't matter. You'll be really happy with that. But that's tough. That is a really tough situation to be in here. Trying to find questions I haven't really talked about.
I see a lot of questions about Pacheco coming through. So
okay,
one of them I saw was Pacheco or Johnny Taylor. But if you see any other Pacheco questions, maybe just give your thoughts.
Yeah,
on
no, I'll just Pacheco. I think he's back. I think he is back as the full-time guy. I don't love the game script. Jonathan Taylor against the Denver Broncos. Don't love that matchup, and without the quarterback to truly challenge them, like the way that Jameis was, and even when Jameis put up all those points, the running back was like Jerome Ford was okay. Nick Chubb was not very good. So if I had both of them, I think I would play Pacheco. Barely. That one's extremely difficult. But it's Sincere McCormick or Pacheco. If I feel more confident in what McCormick is going to do today, where you're hoping Pacheco falls in the end zone a couple times. And let's go. I'll do one more, and because we're up against the clock here. Casey, Devontae Adams or A.J. Brown in a full-point PPR.
Please say Devontae Adams. I really need him.
I like Adams a lot. He's in
okay,
good. He's in my parlay, but it's not. I'm playing A.J. Brown over him. Because that's how I'm going down. I'm going to lean into A.J. Brown's squeaky wheel. A.J. Brown's been playing well. Hurts has not been finding him. We'll see if they had a meeting of the minds here over the week and they figured out how to get him the ball. I feel like there wasn't even a quote from oh gosh, now I can't remember the OC's name. The guy with whatever. Got to move too fast of them saying we got to get A.J. Brown the ball. So I'm going to follow that narrative, and I would play Brown over Devontae Adams. Adams is still a tremendous play. But that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. TheFantasyFootballers.com. The rankings are going to be updated here for the next 20 minutes or so. Oh, good luck, everyone. Remember, winning is everything. Beat them down. Keep it beautiful. Mwah. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.